is a shell. A round pink tender shell opening and closing, closing and opening. My vagina is a flower, an eccentric tulip. The center acute and deep, the scent delicate, and the petals gentle but sturdy. I did not always know this. I learned this from the Vagina Workshop. I learned this from the woman who runs the Vagina Workshop. A woman who believes in vaginas, really sees vaginas, who helps other women see their own vaginas by seeing other women's vaginas. Now, during the first session, the woman who runs the Vagina Workshop asked us to draw our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vaginas. That's what she called it. She wanted to know what our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vaginas looked like to us. One woman who was pregnant drew a big red mouth screaming with coins spilling out, and another very skinny woman drew a serving plate with a kind of Devonshire pattern on it. I drew a huge black dot with squiggly lines around it. The black dot was equal to a black hole in space, and the squiggly lines meant to be people or things or just your basic atoms that got lost there. I always thought of my vagina as an anatomical vacuum sucking up particles and objects from the surrounding environment. I did not think of my vagina in practical or biological terms. I did not, for example, see it as something attached to me. Then the woman who ran the workshop asked us to look at our vaginas with hand mirrors, and after a careful examination, we were to report out to the group of what we saw. I must tell you that up until this point, everything I knew about my vagina was based on hearsay or invention. I hadn't even seen the thing. It never really occurred to me to look at it. My vagina, for me, existed on some abstract plane. It seemed so awkward and reductive looking at it like we were on our shiny blue mats with our hand mirrors. It reminded me of how the earliest astronomers must have felt their primitive telescopes. I found it quite unsettling at first, my vagina, like the first time you see a fish cut open and you discover there's like a bloody complex world inside, right under the skin. It was so raw, so red, so fresh. And the thing that surprised me the most was all the layers. Layers inside layers, opening into more layers. My vagina amazed me. I couldn't speak when it was my turn in the workshop. I was speechless. I'd awakened to what the woman who ran the workshop called vaginal wonder. I wanted to lay there on my back, legs spread, examining my vagina forever. It was better than the Grand Canyon, ancient and full of grace. It had the innocence and freshness of a proper English garden. It was funny, very funny. It made me laugh. It could hide and seek, open and close. Then the woman who ran the workshop asked how many women in the workshop had had orgasms. 2 women tentatively raised their hands. I did not raise my hand, but I had had orgasms. I didn't raise my hand because they were accidental orgasms. They happened to me. They'd happen in my dreams and I'd wake in splendor. They happened a lot in water, mostly in the bath, once in Cape Cod. They happened on horses, on bicycles, sometimes on treadmill at the gym. I didn't raise my hand because, although I had had orgasms, I didn't know how to make one happen. I thought it's a mystical, magical thing. I didn't want to interfere. It felt wrong getting involved, contrived, manipulated. It felt Hollywood. The surprise would be gone, and the mystery. The problem, of course, was the surprise had been gone for almost 2 years. I hadn't had a magical, accidental orgasm in a long time, and I was frantic. That's why I was in the Vagina Workshop. And then the moment had arrived that I had both dreaded and longed for. The woman who ran the workshop asked us to take out our hand mirrors again and to see if we could locate our clitoris. There we were, a group of us women, on our backs, on our mats, searching for our spots, our locus, our reason. And I don't know why, but I started crying. Maybe it was sheer embarrassment, maybe it was knowing that I had to give up the fantasy, the enormous, life-consuming fantasy that someone or something was going to do this for me. The fantasy that someone was coming to lead my life, to choose my direction, and to give me orgasms. I could feel the panic coming, the simultaneous terror and realization that I had avoided finding my clitoris, had rationalized it as mainstream and consumerist because I was, in fact, terrified that I did not have a clitoris. Terrified that I was one of those constitutionally incapables, one of those frigid, dead, shut down, dry, apricot tasting, bitter, oh my God.
slimy things, but never my rape. The panic I felt, I knew I'd been punished. The woman who ran the workshop saw my insane sweating, scrambling, and heavy breathing, and she came over and I said, oh, it's gone, I've lost my clitoris, I should have gone swimming. The woman who ran the workshop laughed. She said, my clitoris was not something I could lose. It was me, the essence of me. It was the doorbell to the house and the house itself. I didn't have to find it. I had to be it. Be it. Be it. Be my clitoris. I closed my eyes and laid down, put my mirror aside. I watched myself floating above myself. I watched as I slowly began to approach myself and re-enter. It was quiet this re-entry, quiet and gentle. I felt like an astronaut re-entering the surface of the earth. I bounced and landed and bounced. I came to my muscle and blood and cells, and then I slid into my vagina. It was suddenly easy, and I fit. I was all warm and pulsing and ready and young and alive, and then, without looking, with my eyes still closed, I put my finger on what had suddenly become me. There was a little quivering at first, which urged me to stay, but the quivering broke up into a quake and eruption waves dividing and subdividing, and the quaking broke up into an ancient horizon of light and silence, which broke up into a plane of music and color and innocence and longing, and I felt a connection, a calling connection, as I lay there thrashing about on my little wee man.
My vagina is a shell, a tulip, and a destiny.
I am arriving as I'm beginning to leave. My vagina.
My vagina, me.